Alrighty guys, in this video, let's take a look at today. While market is rattling overall to the downside, we do have semiconductors showing some strength. That's Nvidia, AMD, ARM, Broadcom is looking good. Micron, is this the bottom on Micron? Most importantly, let's take a look at in this video. Sandisk, is this also the bottom on Sandisk? We'll take a look at that as well. Intel, TSM, all that good stuff. We'll also take a look at S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100. We'll start off with S&P 500. But before that, let's get to something that dropped few, you can call it hours ago or a day ago, technically, the operation of it, right? So, well, seems like the instability is what I will call it, is back between US and Iran. Trump says ceasefire with Iran over, and we are going to hit them very hard again tonight. Okay, so seems like it's on the shakeable ground, whatever is understand memorandum of understanding and all. Now it's becoming a hot mess here where this thing is becoming a continued issue, right? It's just not having its end, which actually, if you have seen the previous wars, when they go for years, no matter what happens, right? No matter what promises are made. So I'm not gonna go into that part of the things here in this video because, as you know, I don't trade based off of the news because price action is the king. That's our source of truth. If you want to have a peace of mind, you need to understand the money flow. Okay. And also the point is that, guys, look, yes, we were already, when war was ongoing, we were still going up in the market. Yes, we did have a little bit of a pullback here, but market was already setting up for that from January, not even when war started. It's just when war a little bit started, it tried to a little bit slip lower. But this is also where we were still in the war, right? And things were still going up. So that's the whole point, right? The uh, news are usually attached to what is wanna be, they want to cherry pick to attach to the price action to tell you why the price is doing what it is doing, but they usually cherry pick to suit that narrative, right? The elements out of it, and narratives are created that way. But anyways, let's not focus on that too much. We'll focus on our price action. That's how we make the money. We understand the price action, and that's how we trade. So S&P 500, because that's the source of the truth. All right. Oh, well, before going further, as always, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So let's take a look at S&P 500 over here. Today we are seeing a bit of a decline, a zone, and this is something I did in my members only videos yesterday, guys. You can check those out on my channel. I talked a lot of stocks with my members yesterday, excuse me, and I talked about a possible weakness today in many stocks, not just in S&P 500, especially once we start to lose this zone. So we lost this 749 to 747 zone, and we tested what a significant level below, that is 739. You can see precisely, well, a little bit, few cents up above that we are bouncing, right, off the significant level. These levels are automatically marked by my tools for you. These helps you to understand where the price will react the most. And so, and this is where we reacted, rejected. Yes, we bounced, but that was just a bounce because we already broke the near-term structure at 747. So now from here on, any bounce that comes is not an uptrend, it's just a bounce. And you can see we are already going for a retest down here in the market. So yes, market right now, S&P 500 not overall bearish, but it is in the weakness here. So accordingly, we have to be careful. Overall breakage is still at like 732 and below, which we are still holding, so not too bad right now, but it's heading towards that. So just so you know, we are not in the upside momentum, we are in the downside direction technically in the near term. NASDAQ 100 is also looking not so good. This is already in the weakness below 720, which S&P 500 has just started to do today through its multi-day side of the things. NASDAQ 100 is leading a day ahead of S&P 500 here. It's getting at a critical zone, as if we start to lose $700, this may not look good. That's where overall structural break would be. Let's get to the hourly interval. I gave my members a zone yesterday to watch for if we even have to expect any upside to build. This was the zone, right? I told my members yesterday in my members only videos, and we rejected today right over there in the retest, rebound, are selling off again. Still remains the case. We don't have any upside momentum and heading towards overall structural break here, which again may open up doors to the much more downside. We'll see. I'll keep you posted, and if the video is not coming out here, that will come out on my members only section, but that's something to keep an eye on, the breakage. But we'll see if it stabilizes here, but so far from last 2 days it is continuing our negative structure. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia is, we'll get to Micron, guys. I haven't forgotten. Usually I start my videos with Micron, but let's go in the sequence today. Nvidia. So Nvidia is still trying to stabilize and bounce at this very zone with 200 days moving average, being like here for more than a week, like, you know, 10 days at least, I guess. But where did it still reject today? It did push up, but where did it reject? Right at that zone that I have given you, 199 and 50 cents, that red zone you see there, right? I told you this is the still strong rejection zone. I have marked it red also here for you guys, right? And we are still rejecting, still there. I'm just going to extend it. So yes, we bounce, but we're still rejecting there. Well, so the thing is that you technically it's a good price action today, at least it's trying to bounce, but you cannot expect an upside start, proper one, unless at least we get above 199 and 50 cents. So even though it's a good price action so far, let's see if we either close stronger here up here and or break out by tomorrow. Then this thing will have some life back on the strength, on the upside, I should say, like Nvidia. Okay, AMD, guys, nothing has changed on AMD from my last video. I have given you the scenarios that played out exactly how I told you guys, right? And I don't have a crystal ball here that I can predict what's going to happen. No, it's just experience. Okay, when you have traded market for closer to a decade, you have traded so many charts, you just know, okay, how these scenarios plays out. I told you here that this candle, don't get too excited. It is most likely a liquidity grab, and then we broke, which confirmed that very thesis of mine, and then we continued lower. Then I told you that yes, if we gain 528, we'll test again the liquidity zone. We did just that, right? But that was just a liquidity test grab again. And this is the days when they were upgrading the price targets as well, because you are the exit liquidity, okay? And it's been collapsing, falling since then, and today it's not doing any better. And at this point, as I have been telling you, you are not buying positions on AMD at this point. Either you are just holding and either waiting that either a breakout to the upside happens, good one, or a flush happens, and then you gotta here you hold, here you exit, right? And or if you are optimizing your position, you are definitely sizing down here as well. And this is for if you have had a position on AMD in a long-term portfolio for quite some time. You are already in the profits, now you're just, you know, managing the position up here. But with this weakness, as I have been telling you, we are in the distribution phase. You gotta start sizing down, and this is the better way of doing it, okay? So anyhow, that's that. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'll leave it that as that. Just going to, let me really quickly change. I don't know if it's gonna remove that text there. Yeah, it did. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly, just give me a second. Just make it look consistent. And it will show up. Here we go. Okay, so that's AMD. Let's get to ARM. So ARM is continuing still in the negative direction for us, guys. Here nothing really changes, and we are still declining. Didn't gain any of the structure. Still bounces are being sold off. Why? Because we are still in the negative structure, guys. Overall, sorry, we are still in the negative structure. And from where we are, are we still watching this zone? If we have to see any upside, if that's the case, 330 zone, That is still the case. That is still the case. If you still want to see a good upside on this thing, which likelihood is less, that will only possible 330 above. Okay, otherwise, yeah, you're cooked. Well, you're not cooked technically. You already knew when to get out, right? I'm just telling you, you know, I have been telling you this for so long. So I expect downside technically. The next level is possibly 236, quite a big drop, but unless I see stabilization, that's the direction technically. Stabilization can also start to build up if we get above 309, but before that, it's just not going to happen, guys. Okay, so where we go? Oh, sorry. Yeah, so before that is not going to happen. At this zone that I have at this point, 330 zone is becoming more of a near term, like a near term stabilization zone. This is something I gave you from intraday side of the things here. So technically that's the thing, but some stabilization is possible above 309, but you'll still have to use the red zone above for but yeah, 309 also is actually some rebounds possibles, because this is where the significant levels have also updated themselves, is that this area is only for now intraday purposes, because you not see any significant levels there. So money flow is more towards in this region right now. So these significant levels takes a lot of things into account, so they update in real time as well, where the focus needs to be. So that's why these are really important to trade with. Okay. Broadcom. Okay, so Broadcom is the one that today is turning around. I think we had a news that Apple signed a multi-year deal with the Broadcom here. So Broadcom landed a multi-year Apple deal worth 30 billion to design and make custom silicon and wireless components. That is giving us a bounce today. Now this thing, it has technically gained back above this zone of 373, which is where at least I wanted to see a stabilization. It did fail the first time, so that was a failed breakout. But then today, forget the news, if you look at just the price action, but today this area now does tell me this is most likely now the bottom, and expect an upside from here. Most likely we may see, like, yes, if some aggregators are selling off, that may put a effect on it, but it's most likely we have to have a stop loss below 367 areas and zones like that, position management, but most likely it has a room to push through. That's we want to see today's candle also stay strong and close strong for that, but that would be that. Micron. So Micron, as I have been telling you, that it's in the decline, and this was the zone that I gave you, right? $970 zone. And as you can see, yes, we do have a green candle today. We did go up as well, but where did we reject, guys? We rejected right into that zone of significant, technically a significant level. That's where we pretty much rejected, right? And thus we remain in the negative structure still. It just was a bounce today, okay? Things will not turn around until we get above that zone. Precisely, guys, precisely at that significant level. You can see a rejection today with the zone still being a strong resistance. You cannot look upside still until we get above that 970 zone. Okay, below that we are still in the decline. Can it form a bottom here? This yellow zone is proving to be a potential support, right? It's too early to tell that, and your confirmation is that above $970. Okay, if this has to be near-term bottom. Otherwise, if we start to test the yellow zone below, then we can slip next zone below, that is 648. So today's right now candle is just a bounce. $970 above is what you have to see to really see any upside on this thing. Okay, and yeah, right now it's still in the decline here. Okay, so Sandisk, very similar. What did I tell you on Sandisk, guys? Exactly, that's how it's playing out. This was the level I told you, 1690. I said that, yeah, until here, if you bounce, it's just a bounce. This is still, you cannot look like even a strength like build up on this thing, as if we stay below this zone. That's the rejection zone, right? We are still rejecting there at a significant level, precisely, guys, bouncing from a significant level zone below and rejecting up there. Now, yeah, it's still in the decline, selling off, bounce is complete, and unfortunately, overall structure still remains negative on this thing. As these things also, take time, they rebound along the ways, but overall direction is still telling us negative, and thus there's a possibility still of 1278 or 1280, the significant level below. TSM is still also in the weakness, below yellow zone for 47. Nothing changes on this thing for us. Intel, guys, already told you weakness is coming from 126, loss of 118 will put us 102, very close there already. And as if we lose 102, actually there's a big drop possible, so be careful there. Technically you cannot look upside on Intel right now. Either we'll have to see a support form at 102, which will take a few days for a proper support or proper bottom to form, which again, with the top being so close, I don't expect a good bottom to be here. But there's a bounce possibilities, so we'll see what happens. But right now it's still continuing in the negative direction, as what I've been telling you. Seagate also a little bit bouncing today, but remains in the negative structure. These bounces, let's see how the candle closes today. That's also an important part, how the candle closes by the end of the day. But we are still negative on Seagate. We have been negative since like 997. I've been telling you that. If we lose current zone of 800, which is trying to hold from last technically 3 days in total, 1 2 3 is trying, that's a good sign. But if it doesn't hold, yeah, we are then dropping down to like 693 area. Okay, so yeah, that's something to look for. Now I can show you real quick Kospi as well here, how it did yesterday, guys. Kospi is not looking good yesterday, right? It bounced along the ways, but then continued to sell off because overall structure was still negative below 8050. Okay, and we just continued in the decline. We are still negative on Kospi. This has a room to still come down, maybe let's say 6358 area. SK Hynix also bounced but closed red. We never touched even our zone of resistance. Below that, structure is still negative, and structure is still negative on this thing. So you can continue to expect, like technically right now it's just the downside. I'm not seeing any strength there. This is Samsung also, continuing lower, rejection, and it has also lost a critical zone. And yeah, next zone technically is 222. All right, 222,000. These digits are so big, but again, it's based on their currency value and all of that. Okay, yeah, so things are not looking good on the Korean market, just so you know. We did see SSA bounce. Again, you have to trade them separately. Micron, you cannot correlate these things. Yes, their underlying business and principles may correlate, but price action you cannot correlate. You have to individually look at these instruments individually, what they are telling us in their price action. Okay, all right, guys, well, that's all I had for you in this video. If you liked it, please hit the like, subscribe, and if you want to check out a lot more stuff, guys, that I do for the members along the ways, you have seen some of my tools as well. There are many more tools. If you need access to my tools as well, check out on my Patreon, the memberships for that. And also, if you just want to watch the videos that I do for the members, I tell them where the money is flowing, what are the price actions looking like, new stocks I add, for example, new positions here, where are the stop loss zones should be, and all that good stuff. And many stocks I talk here. Check the stocks videos out if you are interested. And all these videos are in sequence, guys, so you will not lose anything from even today's video. What I mean, if you join today and you see, oh well, the context, most of the context, like, did you already lose the context? No, just check out the last video and just check out the last video. These videos are all in sequence, so you will get pretty much everything even from the past all the way today, and you will be able to completely understand what's going on. Okay, the videos are not in isolation, they are connected. Okay, and this is where it's important to not miss out important videos as well, especially this 10 days ago now, right? But anyways, guys, market today is a bit rattling, but I'll definitely be talking with my members as for those other stocks. I can just let you know right now that I'm not too worried right now based on how those price actions are looking like. But I do want to see, some stabilization soon. And that's all I had for you guys in this video, and I'll see you in my next videos with that. All right, guys, take care. Bye.